Hey, what's up, guys? It's your girl, Papi Britt, and welcome back to the Platicando con Papi podcast. I apologize that I haven't posted. Believe me, I wanted to so bad, but if you know me, then you know I was just in Puerto Rico for 2 Mondays and then coming back. It's just been a little bit difficult to get back into the swing of things, but I did want to make sure I got an episode up this week. So I know it's not Monday, but at least we have an episode. So hey, at least I'll give myself a little bit of credit because I was gone for almost 2 weeks, and getting back into working and working out and all of that has been a little bit hard. So here we are, and I figured I would talk about my experience with traveling alone. I have gotten really into doing everything alone, which I'm not sure that's maybe the best thing, like hyper independence, but I really do truly appreciate being able to do things alone and feeling comfortable within myself and with my own company. And now that I think about it, it's actually about to be the year anniversary of the first time I did a solo trip, and most of my solo trips have been to Puerto Rico. I just love Puerto Rico. I love the people. I love everything about it, and I just feel so happy, so at peace, like so liberated when I'm out there, and it's literally my happy place. So like I said, I just got back from Puerto Rico, and I wanted to talk about what these trips have taught me, because I feel like every time I've traveled alone to Puerto Rico in specific, there's just like I learn something new about myself, and it's really changed my perspective about my abilities, who I am as a person, like what challenges me, because when I'm out there by myself, all I have is me. And so it's really shown me who I am, what triggers me, what I enjoy, and so much about myself. So I kind of wanted to get into that. And I also started reading a new book, which is called When Things Fall Apart. Even just reading this book, it kind of tied in to kind of my experience with traveling alone. So I do have some quotes that I've pulled from this book specifically that have kind of resonated with me in regards to traveling alone. And they are talking about how when things fall apart, or when you're just pinned up against a wall, is where you basically learn and grow the most, and being able to embrace that. And for me, when I travel alone, that's kind of when I'm pinned up against the wall and I'm at my most vulnerable, because I'm by myself in a place I don't know, and all I have to rely on is mostly me. So this has really resonated a lot, especially when it comes to traveling alone as well, and just doing things and embracing things when they're falling apart. The first thing that traveling alone has allowed me to do and to practice more is be present, because in a situation where I'm basically in a whole different environment where I don't know anybody, I have to be more aware. And here, when I'm with other people, or even just here in my home, I feel like I soy muy distraída. I'm very everywhere and nowhere at once. But when I'm in Puerto Rico, or when I'm traveling alone, I have to be present, aware of my surroundings. I'm very much more aware of who's around me, where I'm at, literally everything. And honestly, I truly appreciate that, especially when I'm in Puerto Rico, because it allows me to just put my phone down and really just embrace where I'm at. Take a look around and look to see how beautiful everything is. It comes from a place of having to make sure I'm safe and know where the exits are and stuff like that, but also it allows me to be more present and just enjoy the presence of the other people that are there at the same time as me, and kind of just people watch and just take a moment to really sit with myself and appreciate everything that's around me. So I really truly appreciate that when I'm in Puerto Rico specifically, but just when I'm alone in general. The second thing that traveling alone has taught me is basically how many people I have cheering me on, and also who my true friends are, because even though I do travel alone, I have a core group of people that are regularly checking in on me, that have my location, that I send my, like, where I'm staying to. Let them know where I'm gonna be, who I'm hanging out with, everything, and they regularly check up on me. And then in general, like, the amount of people that are cheering me on when I travel is literally like, it makes me so happy and it warms my heart, because it just shows me cuánta gente tengo a mi pendiente, and like how many people are just so excited to see me like putting myself in these situations and growing from them, and like literally not letting like anything stop me. And I truly appreciate that. If I don't post, people are like, are you okay? Like, what's going on? Like, they're ahí están, like, puestos to see my stories, to see what I'm doing, and like literally just cheering me on and showing me how happy they are for me. It it literally means the world to me. But again, it's also shown me who like my true friends are, because there are moments when I'm traveling where at least once every trip I have a breakdown, and I have to call one of my friends and just be like, I'm nervous, I'm anxious, I'm depressed, I'm this, I'm that. And they literally just sit there with me and talk through it with me. And it shows me who I can call in those moments, which I've truly, truly appreciated. And also, you really learn who your true friends are when it comes to finding out who's willing to take you or pick you up from the airport, because that's also a bitch. So shout out to those people too, the ones that are willing to take me to the airport or pick me up, or cualquier persona que está pendiente a mí. Like, it literally means the absolute fucking world. Third, it's shown me to trust myself and shown me how capable I am. For example, for Puerto Rico, I dreamed of traveling to Puerto Rico, and just considering, because I have DACA and stuff like that, it was also really scary for me, because I just didn't know like legally how that would work, if it would interfere with my ability to come back, or if I would get questioned or whatever. But it showed me how capable I am to not let fear stop me from doing certain things, and how I am able to like kind of set my mind to do something and manifest it for myself, to save that money, to work my ass off, to do all these things to make this shit happen for myself. Because as of the last year or 2 years, I've been traveling a lot. But prior to that, like, my family never traveled. We never took vacations. I had never been on a plane until I was in college. Like, traveling was just not something that was really in the books for me, especially because, my family didn't have the money. My parents are very like paranoid and scared of traveling. So for me to just put myself out there and set my mind to traveling, even if it means doing it alone, has really like empowered me and shown me that if I can travel alone, I can literally do anything. Because it's shown me that like if I set my mind to travel, then I will work my ass off to make it happen. And a lot of people tell me like, oh, you're so lucky that you get to travel all the time. And I'm like, no, I'm absolutely blessed, but it's also come from me working my ass off to make that shit happen for me. It's not like I just get to travel for free and do all these things. It's like, no, when I sit down and work my ass off, that's when I make it happen. It's not like I'm just getting to travel every month. No, I work for it, and then I get to enjoy the fruits of my labor. Like I said, my parents are very traditional, they're very strict, and it's allowed me to prove not only to them but to myself that I can trust myself, that I can take care of myself, and that I can make decisions that best suit me and what I want to do for myself. And it has transferred into every aspect of my life, because now I know that I can trust my gut instincts, and that I know how to take care of myself in any situation. And being out there by myself has really, really tested my ability to just trust my gut instincts, because I have to trust that where I'm deciding to stay is a good spot, that the people that I meet are good or not good, or whether the recommendations that people are giving me as to what to do and what not to do, that I'm able to choose what's best for me in spite of like any outside forces, and really just make the best decision that's for me, and be comfortable and confident within that. And it's allowed me to also advocate for myself and learn how to ask for help, because I am just one of those people, like I said, I'm hyper independent, and it's allowed me to kind of let my guard down, because when I'm out there, like I said, I don't have anybody really, so I've had to learn how to ask for help, how to ask for help for my friends to take me to the airport, how to call my friends and tell them like, hey, I need help, I need someone to listen to me right now because I am going through it. And that's something that I always struggled with, because I felt like a bother, and it's shown me that just as I am willing to take care of other people, they're willing to reciprocate that for me and show up for me when I need it most. And it's allowed me to be vulnerable and be willing to ask for help, ask for directions, ask for recommendations, ask for a listening ear, literally just ask and advocate for myself, because when I'm out there, I have nobody, so I have to figure out who I can go to in those moments. And that's when I always say, like, I feel like I'm never alone, even if I am alone, because I always have people that are watching out for me, that are protecting me, that are que están pendiente a mí. So I never really feel alone, but it's also allowed me to be more vulnerable and be more comfortable with asking for help, asking for directions, and asking for things that I would have never really asked for. But in that moment, like, that's all I have. Like, that's all I have. So it's really shown me that asking for help is not a weakness. And if anything, like, people are more than willing to help, especially in Puerto Rico. They're the fucking sweetest people in the entire world, and willing to show you around and tell you where to go and what to do and put you on to like the best places. With that, I've also learned just how divinely protected I am. And I say this all the time. I literally even have divinely protected tattooed on me. But the way that I just feel like when I am doing what is meant for me, when I just kind of let go of control and just get into the flow of what the universe wants for me, things just kind of work out. And I've said this from the start, because the first time I went to Puerto Rico, the first Uber that ever picked me up, he and I are still in contact. And every time I've gone to Puerto Rico, he's checked in on me, he's picked me up, he's drove me around, and he's always taken such good care of me. He was the one that recommended I go to this restaurant, and I've made friends with the employees there, and now see them every single time that I go visit Puerto Rico. And everything, when I finally just let go of control, things just kind of work out for me in the best possible way. Usually when I go out there, I don't really even have an itinerary. I just kind of figure out what I want to do, and like, but don't have set dates, because every day kind of just works itself out for me by me letting go of control and just deciding that I'm gonna let the universe do what it needs to do. And I always end up having the best experiences and meeting the best people through just allowing things to kind of flow and be whatever they need to be. And with that also comes learning that it's okay to rest, and it's okay to just exist and to not do anything. Because at least my first trip, I thought that I needed to have it booked and busy. And after a few trips, I've realized that it's okay to rest. It's okay to simply just exist. It's literally a vacation for that same reason. I don't have to be on a bus, club, another club constantly. Like, I can just sleep in if I want to. I can literally just go sit at the beach and do nothing and respond to nobody and just be. And that is literally such a gift that I would have not allowed myself previous to traveling alone, because I'm always hyper aware of the things that I need to get done, and thinking that I'm constantly wasting my time if I'm not doing something all the time. And now it's allowed me to appreciate rest and the ability to have those days off and have just those mental breaks. Now I incorporate that into my everyday life and allow myself to simply just exist now if I need to. And that within itself is restorative and more than enough. One thing that a lot of people ask me all the time is whether I'm ever scared to travel alone. And me being alone, I do everything alone. So that fear has kind of gone out the window, but there are a lot of times where I am scared. Putting myself in those uncomfortable situations has been where I grow the most. And that's what this book is talking about, being basically about being scared and doing things anyway. The moments when I have been most scared are the moments where I've grown the most and have had the most amazing experiences. For example, I had a tour guide that offered to give me a tour of the cemetery in Puerto Rico that is right next to La Perla, and like it's an ancient a historical cemetery, and it's beautiful, but it was at night, and we literally like jumped into the like property, and you know, he showed me, he's like, I hang out here all the time, whatever. But I was literally terrified. I was fucking terrified because I don't do the supernatural. I don't do scary shit. I don't do anything dead people, scary movies, all that shit. I don't do. And my heart was literally, I could feel my heart racing, and I was terrified. But I did it anyway because I was like, when else will I have this opportunity? And I was, like I said, I was terrified, but it was one of the coolest experiences. He showed me the nicest view, and just showing myself that I'm able to do things even though I'm scared. Same thing with like cliff diving. Bitch, I can't fucking swim. And I was terrified, but I told myself again, when else am I gonna have this experience? And so I did it anyway. And again, another one of the coolest experiences that I've had. There's a lot of things that I have been very scared to do, or that have been new to me, even through just traveling alone, but it's taught me so much. And so when people ask me, am I not scared? Do I not get nervous? Yes, I do. But I do it anyway. And that's what this book is talking about. The author is talking about fear and courage in this book. And this quote really resonated with me because of that. And they say, so the next time you encounter fear, consider yourself lucky. This is where courage comes in. Usually we think that brave people have no fear. The truth is that they are intimate with fear. And then she talks about how when she was first married, her husband told her that she was one of the bravest people he knew. And she asked him why. And he said, because she was a complete coward, but still went ahead and did things anyway. And going on these trips and doing it alone and doing things even when I'm scared has showed me how courageous I really am. It's made me intimate with fear and comfortable with it, and allowed me to see the lesson and the bigger picture in everything that I do. I see purpose in everything. I see purpose in things falling apart. I see purpose in things falling together. I see the bigger picture, and it really has just changed my perspective, especially when it comes to being alone, especially when it comes to doing things that are new to me, or when it comes to doing things when I'm scared. It's shown me that that is the best place you can be, because that's where you know you're gonna grow. Even if things don't go the way they're supposed to, they end up turning out the way they're meant to. And so I just see value in everything and every experience. Lastly, I feel like traveling alone has really just taught me a lot about me and allowed me to be more comfortable with my own presence and really be present with my own thoughts. Because when I'm out there by myself, sitting at restaurants, sitting at the beach, sitting wherever by myself, that's where I truly get to listen in on my thoughts and what comes up for me when I'm by myself, when I'm in unfamiliar situations and with nobody around me. It teaches me what is still holding me back, what it is that I'm hoping and thinking and manifesting. In those moments, that's when I'm most vulnerable and where I'm stripped of basically everything that I know and everything that I am. But it's like one of the best feelings, because in those moments, that's where I really get to know myself, know what triggers me, know what's still bothering me, know what I want to change when I come back home, or what I want to work on, or what ideas and creative things I want to work on. So it really allows me to sit with myself and be comfortable and hone in on what is going on up here. It really just puts everything into perspective. The reason I continue to go on these trips is because I feel like every time I've learned something new about myself, it's tested me in different ways. I've experienced different things. And it's truly made me comfortable with myself, with my abilities, with who I am, with what I want, with being able to set boundaries, with being able to advocate for myself, to ask for help. And in this book, she talks about how a teacher told her that when you have made good friends with yourself, your situation will be more friendly too. And I feel like that's the complete case. I've gotten to know myself on a different level and have been able to learn how to be kind to myself, to be tender to myself, to be gracious to myself, and to trust in my abilities. And everything around me has also improved. The way people treat me, the way people view me, has completely changed. My parents completely respect me as an individual now because they can see that I can fend for myself, that I can take care of myself, that I'm able to manifest the things that I want and go after everything, and that I'm not waiting on anything. I finally understand that time waits for nobody. And so if there's something that I want, I'm gonna go after it. If other people want to join, cool. If not, I'm more than capable and willing and able to do it by myself. And I continue to push myself and to put myself in those uncomfortable situations because I feel like that's when I'm continuously growing. It's just like when you go to the gym constantly and push yourself, your muscle continues to grow because it tears and then it grows and then it tears and then it grows. And I feel like that's what these trips do for me. She also mentions this quote, which really resonated. Only to the extent that we expose ourselves over and over to annihilation can that which is indestructible be found within us. And I feel like as I continue to push myself and go on these trips, and I am able to find out more and more about myself and really truly show myself how capable I am and show myself the parts of me that are indestructible and those parts that I still need to work on to make indestructible. And I also saw this quote yesterday, which is really interesting that it popped up. But like I said, whenever I'm doing things that are aligned with what I'm supposed to be doing, things just kind of come up, quote, which I truly, truly love, and which also traveling alone has taught me. And it's: gracias a la vida por enseñarme que si nadie va conmigo, tengo la fuerza, las ganas y soy completamente capaz de ir sola. Had you told me that I'd be regularly just going on trips alone and doing things alone years ago, I would have never believed you. And I thought I was incapable and I was terrified of doing things alone. But here I am now, and it's shown me how capable I am of doing the things, and that time waits for nobody. So I'm not going to waste my life wishing I could do something when I have every tool and ability to do it. That's when the tools of the incompetent quote jumps in again, and I could just spend my whole life being scared of doing things and wishing I could do them, or I could just be scared and do it anyway and show myself that I have the courage and the ability to do things even though I'm scared. Those are basically some of the things that traveling alone has taught me. And if you are considering traveling alone, then I 110% believe that you should do it. I am a firm believer that if something continuously draws your attention, or you're constantly thinking about it, or it's an idea that just won't go away, it's because it's meant for you. If you are thinking of possibly traveling alone, then go ahead and do it. Of course, make sure you plan it correctly and have a support system, because that has truly saved me, is having those people that I can call when I'm scared, when I need someone to talk to, when I need to process things, or when I do feel alone, when I'm out there and I feel scared. I have those people that I can go back to and know that they want to make sure I'm good. And send your location to people, make sure that you're safe, let people know where you're staying, what you're planning on doing. If you are meeting up with anybody, let them know who they are, all of that stuff. But just do it, because it will teach you so much about yourself and put you in situations that you may never have the opportunity to be in again unless you just go for it. So yeah, that's basically it. I appreciate you guys watching. I'm sorry this episode was so late, but if you guys want me to do another episode on traveling alone, let me know. I have a lot of people that ask me questions in particular to Puerto Rico, and I can do one just about that, especially with traveling as a DACA recipient. But yeah, I appreciate you guys watching, and we will be back to uploading regularly every Monday. But in the meantime, make sure to subscribe, give me 5 stars, and yeah, we'll see you guys next time.